All right, let's take a quick look at the currencies that make up the basket of currencies in the US dollar. The reason that's of interest to me today is I want to see what the precious metals are likely to do in coming weeks and months. The US dollar is one of the major influences on where the precious metals go from here. So we've looked at this before. This is the 6 currencies in the basket of currencies that make up the dollar index. Their weighting, as we can see, is predominantly the euro, and then the Japanese yen and the pound, and then the other 3 currencies make up a minor percentage. This is 80-something percent. Those 3 currencies make up 83%, I think it is, something like that. So we looked at the US dollar this morning here in the monthly time frame. Last month pushed up into resistance. This is a double, well, you could call it a double top from this high. Anyway, this is a support resistance level. Last month we pushed up into that level and then pulled back. Got a big long upper wick on that candle, which is bearish. And so I suspect that candlestick has got a lot of analysts thinking that the dollar topped last month and is rolling over. That's not my take on the dollar at all. If we based on MACD, MACD is one of the trend indicators we can use. MACD is currently in bull mode, meaning that both indicator lines are above the 0 level of the indicator. And that suggests that the primary trend in this vehicle, the US dollar, is up. And so clearly MACD in bull mode on a buy signal, energy is very elevated, or stochastics. That's my reading on energy. So, in the monthly time frame, the dollar, to my eye, is headed higher. Weekly time frame, we got a breakthrough and a pullback, currently testing or bouncing off of support at this horizontal level, which is coincident with the 10-week moving average. The lower wick on this candlestick is bullish, suggesting that price wants to go higher. MACD in bull mode again on a buy signal. You could argue that MACD histogram is suggesting that we're, the dollar's going to head lower. We're going to get a MACD sell signal. We'll wait and see if that happens. Stochastics again elevated. Dollar in the daily time frame, finding support along the lower median line of this modified shift pitchfork, resistance at the 20-day moving average, support at this horizontal level, as well as the 50-day moving average. MACD in bull mode, currently on a sell signal, but notice that MACD histogram is, suggesting that we could be headed back higher. Energy is elevated and heading higher, appears to be heading higher. So the euro, and so this is 57% of the dollar index that we're looking at the monthly time frame. There's nothing in this chart that suggests that the euro is about to head higher. This is a, excuse me, this is a decided downtrend in the euro. I guess you could look at last month's candlestick and that long lower wick as a bullish indication, but overall, this is a very bearish chart. If we extend, let me just draw a trend line. If we look at this as a horizontal support level, from these 3, there's support, 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 almost support, and then support again, and then support failed. And so currently the euro is below this fairly strong horizontal support level. We might get a rally back up to that level and test it as resistance. But nothing in this chart, to my eye, suggests a higher level for the euro. MACD in bear mode on a sell signal, energy very low. If we drop to the weekly time frame in the euro, same story. There's nothing bullish about this chart. Price or the euro has dropped below the lower median line of this Andrews pitchfork. Last week popped back above that level. Right now is finding support at that level, resistance at the 10-week moving average. MACD in bear mode on a sell signal, energy very low. So 57% of the contents of the dollar basket is in a bearish state. Technical downtrend, if we look at that as a high, there's a low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. That's a technical downtrend. I mean, there's just nothing about this euro in the weekly time frame that suggests higher euro prices. If we think about what's going on in Europe right now, they've got a terrible problem with energy because they're shooting themselves in their own feet by shutting down Nord Stream 2. They chose not to open Nord Stream 2, and they're playing games with the turbines on Nord Stream 1, so it's down to 20% of its capacity. I mean, the euro's just not in a good state. There's no reason to expect any fundamental strength in the European currency. Let's move on. This is the Japanese yen monthly time frame. The yen reached a support level. This is the upper median line of a shift pitchfork. Bounced a little bit last month. We can see that green candle with a long lower wick. This month we're bouncing along. We still got support from that median line. We also have support at this horizontal. We can see that's a prior low, and so we're finding support at that horizontal level. But again, nothing bullish about this chart other than the fact that it appears to be finding support at that level. Technical downtrend, again, high, low, lower high, lower low. We ignore that in the middle there. Anyway, that is not a bullish chart. Let's look at the weekly time frame. Same thing, big downtrend. I mean, this is a significant downtrend in the yen. And of course, Japan, they've been madly printing their fiat currency for the last 20 years, and no indication that they're going to stop doing so. Notice the candlestick we've got for the current week, this long upper wick, tested resistance at the upper median line of this, that's a shift pitchfork, and we've got a big pullback. So currently the yen is finding support at the median line of this fork, which is also the 10-week moving average. But again, this move right here, that just looks like a counter trend rally. We got a sharp rally, and now we're getting the next pullback. And so again, nothing bullish about this chart. When we get a counter trend rally, they tend to be very fast, very sharp. They make a impulsive move to the upside and then roll back over. And so I suspect that this move right here was just a counter trend rally. It's now rolled over. We do, however, have MACD. We just got a new buy signal in MACD, very oversold. I mean, obviously the yen has been in a long decline, terribly oversold. It could rally from here, but that's not really what I I expect to happen. I think we're just rolling over from here. The pound, so this is the last of the, what's the pound? So 12% of the dollar basket is made up of the UK, the British pound. Here in the monthly time frame, sitting on a support level, and last month's candle, that's a doji candle with a long lower wick, so that is a bullish candlestick last month, and so you could make the argument that the pound is trying to rally, but it's sitting just below resistance at the median line of this Andrews pitchfork, so it's got resistance immediately overhead if it does try to rally. MACD is in bear mode on a sell signal, and energy is very low. So other than sitting on a support level, this is not a bullish chart. Let's look at the pound in the weekly time frame. Again, not a pretty chart. Technical downtrend. This looks like a counter trend rally that has rolled over. We've got the 10-week moving average acting as resistance. We've got the upper median line of this. This is a shift pitchfork, modified shift pitchfork. I got to look. Too small. It's a shift. So this is a shift pitchfork. Upper median line is providing resistance. Again, I suspect that counter trend rally that's in the process of rolling over. MACD is in bear mode, although it looks like it wants to give us a new buy signal. Energy very low based on stochastics. If we look at the Canadian dollar in the monthly time frame, it's still bumping along in this slightly downtrending channel, and no indication that it's going to head higher from there. Weekly time frame, same thing. Nothing, that suggests higher prices for the Canadian dollar. MACD in bear mode, energy is low. Now we're down to the krona, the Swedish krona, which is 4%, and then the Swiss franc is 3%. So these, from the perspective of we're looking for weakness in the U.S. dollar, the Swedish krona and the Swiss franc have almost no influence. 4% and 3%, even if they staged a big rally, it's not going to make the U.S. dollar weak. So anyway, the krona here in the monthly time frame got a bounce last week. That's a bullish candle, last month. That's a bullish candlestick, long lower tail. MACD in bear mode, energy is low, and a resistance zone just overhead. So, nothing bullish about that chart. This is the krona in the weekly time frame. Again, technical downtrend, a series of lower highs and lower lows. This looks like a counter trend rally, ran into resistance. It's in the process of rolling over, although we did get a buy signal from the MACD. MACD is in bear mode, energy low. Last currency, this is the Swiss franc in the monthly time frame. Support on the lower median line of this shift pitchfork. Got a series of bullish candles based on the long lower tails or wicks, pushing up into, this is a 200-day exponential moving average, yes, or 200 period, so 200-month moving average as resistance overhead. MACD is mostly in bull mode, but on a sell signal, energy is low, Here in the weekly time frame, we've got MACD on a buy signal, energy mid-range. pushing into, we should be looking at the 10-week and 40-week moving averages, not the 200 period. So let me get rid of that. So the Swiss franc in the weekly time frame is up above its 10-week moving average, pushing up into resistance at the 40-week moving average, buy signal, energy mid-range. So that's it for the currency charts. And again, I don't see any reason to expect weakness in the US dollar. I would expect strength in the dollar to continue, which means it will continue acting as a headwind for the precious metals, which is unfortunate. But that's all I got. Talk to you soon, folks.